The first upgrade is actually one of the biggest upgrades I've ever made, and it has to do with the chair. And this chair needs no introduction. I'm sure you've seen it before, or at least you've heard of it, which is the Herman Miller Aeron. The Aeron has been a staple in the office chair space for so many years now, and it's totally understandable as to why. I mean, the build quality is seriously incredible with the 8Z Palisol textile material, which is super soft and breathable, and the whole chair is basically adjustable. The arms can swivel in and out, move forward and back, and be adjusted up or down. We of course have the tilt limiter. You can raise the seat up or down, which is extremely smooth, and the seat itself just fits your butt perfectly. The back part features some of the best ergonomics ever in an office chair. They call it the Posture Fit SL, which is adjustable so you can increase or release the tension. It wraps around and fits perfectly to your back, ensuring that you maintain good posture while sitting for hours on end. It's honestly just such a comfortable chair. I never really thought of an office chair as being a comfortable seat that I would enjoy sitting in for like 9+ hours, but this is it. One of my favorite use cases for the iPad Pro is hooking it up to my Mac via sidecar to use as an additional screen. And this next accessory is about to up that experience with the Kuxiu X33 Pro Max iPad magnetic charging stand. The stand is made out of aluminum, which brings a really nice build quality that matches the iPad Pro. And the magnetic back panel supports both vertical and horizontal adjustments up to 90 degrees. You can rotate it a full 360 degrees, and the base of the stand can be adjusted up to 90 degrees as well. What really separates this from any other iPad stand is the back plate, which features the smart connector, and this allows you to charge your iPad at up to 18 watts essentially wirelessly. There's a USB-C port on the back of the stand that supplies power to the smart connector, very similar to how the Magic Keyboard does. This alone makes this the best iPad stand that I've ever used, and it's just so convenient to toss your iPad onto the stand and have it just start charging immediately, basically acting like a MagSafe charger but for your iPad. Speaking of the iPad, I've been taking all of my video calls on the iPad Pro, and as much as this is a great experience, the video quality from the iPad selfie cam is, I guess, mediocre at best. So to upgrade this, I have a new webcam, which is the Obsbot Tiny 2 Lite. The Tiny 2 Lite features a 1.5-inch CMOS sensor and brings video resolutions at 4K up to 30 frames a second and 1080p at up to 60 frames per second. The image quality is super crisp and clear, and the camera sits on top of a 2-axis gimbal, which unlocks the AI features such as upper body and close-up tracking. The Tiny 2 Lite has a built-in clamp for the stand, and it also works over USB-C, so it's just super easy to get this thing set up and ready to go. And it's honestly just kind of crazy that this kind of image quality and tracking is built into such a, well, tiny package. The next few accessories are from Grovemade. I got a couple of really nice items from them, including a magic trackpad holder, a leather mouse pad with a pen holder, and a catch-all tray. These accessories add a warm and cozy vibe, which has basically been missing from my setup really since the beginning, and this is thanks to them being made out of real wood, cork, tan leather, and wool felt. These are very small and subtle changes, but they really have made a huge difference in my setup. Now, this wouldn't be a desk setup upgrade if we didn't have some new keyboards to check out, and I got 2 new keyboards that are from Keychron, who were kind enough to send over a bunch of stuff. This isn't sponsored, but they sent over a lot of cool stuff, and the coolest of them all we're going to check out a little later because it's going to make a huge upgrade to my current keyboard. But let's get into these 2 brand new boards. The first keyboard is the Keychron Lemokey, I really don't know, Lemokey P1, and it's made out of CNC machined aluminum for the entire body. There's a little knob at the top which is customizable, but by default, at least within macOS, it acts as a volume rocker, which is pretty cool. I have the Lemokey P1 fully assembled in the silver colorway with the Keychron banana switches. The keyboard is hot swappable, which is awesome, and it comes with a ton of different foam to help with the typing experience. The keycaps are double shot PVT, it has screw-in stabilizers, a double gasket design, and is wireless via Bluetooth or a dongle. Oh, and like most mechanical keyboards nowadays, it also has RGB. All of those highlighting features translate over to the second keyboard, which is the Keychron Q14 Max, which is in the shell white colorway and features Gateron Jupiter red switches. The main difference here is, of course, the layout. This uses the Alice layout, which is supposed to offer a more comfortable and ergonomic typing experience, experience, but this is my first time with a layout like this, and it is definitely very weird to type on at first, but I'm definitely going to have to give this more of a try over the next few weeks, and I'll have to update you in a future video. And of course, we have a typing test, even though I kind of look like a fool typing on the Q14 Max, but here are both the keyboards. Okay. So this just happened. I'm not even exactly sure what happened. I was just filming this video and then I heard like a cracking, almost like a popping sound, and then my screen turned off, but then it turned back on. Then I said no signal. It turned off again, then it turned back on, and then it just had like this really static image. I'm not exactly sure what went wrong, so I'll need to take a closer look at this later, but for now, I'm just going to swap monitors over to the BenQ PD322 5U, and if you're curious about this monitor, I actually went into more detail in my recent desk setup makeover video, so definitely go ahead and check that out. It's a solid 32-inch 4K display with incredible color accuracy and a MacBook mode that perfectly matches Mac displays. After swapping over my Philips Hue play bars and getting the monitor installed on the wall mount, I'm quickly realizing that I might actually like this setup better than the LG C2 OLED. It's only been a few minutes since I set this up, but I'm already feeling that this might be a better experience than using the TV. The only thing I'm really missing now is OLED and a higher refresh rate, so I'll be in the market for a new monitor quite soon, but I think I can confidently say that I'm going to be sticking with a monitor instead of a new TV. Before moving to the next upgrade, I took a moment to clean up and reset the space, so after a quick Swiffer, some Lysol wipes, and of course a coffee, the space is feeling so much better. I always say a clean workspace leads to a clear mind. Alright, now that we're back on track, let's talk about one of my favorite upgrades, which is to my Sin 65 mechanical keyboard from Win Studios. I've been wanting to upgrade this keyboard for a while, and I finally found the perfect keycap set. These keycaps are from Keychron and they're inspired by the classic retro Apple aesthetics. We got the old school Apple font, a think different delete key, and one more thing on the enter key. And then there's also a hello icon and a vintage Macintosh icon keycap. But that's not all. I've added a couple of custom keycaps too, featuring the Finder icon, the hello logo on a beach, and a vintage Mac. These are hands down some of the coolest keycaps I've ever come across, and they really complete the look of the Sin 65 with its space gray finish and all metal build. Also, does anyone else enjoy removing keycaps? Like, it's oddly satisfying and kind of relaxing taking off a set and putting a fresh new set of keycaps on, or is it just me? This upgrade gives the keyboard such a unique vibe, and I'm pretty sure no one else will have a setup quite like this. The vintage Apple theme just not only fits me and my setup perfectly, but also looks amazing on this keyboard. And of course, here's a little typing test to show you just how this one sounds. So everything is basically done. I'm just not a big fan of all the white space under my monitor, so I think I'm gonna add the Grovemade desk shelf to the setup, but I'm gonna ask you guys over on Instagram first to see what you guys think. All right, so it's been about 10-15 minutes now, and you guys are saying bottom, liking the desk shelf, so let's go ahead and get the desk shelf set up. So here's something kind of funny. I actually had this desk shelf in my setup before, but it didn't last too long because I made the switch over to the LG OLED. So it kind of feels a bit like going backwards in a way, but honestly, I never realized how good this shelf actually looks until now. It completely transforms my desk setup, making it feel so much cozier and warmer, especially with the new Grovemade accessories I added earlier. The shelf gives the setup a lot more character now, and I also just have this feeling of things being more complete here. I'm not exactly sure how to explain it, but there's just this new sense of completeness. Maybe it's because the LG C2 took up so much room and really overpowered my setup, or maybe it's just that it's a fresh new look. I'm really not too sure, but all I can tell you is I'm quite happy with how things have turned out. It does kind of suck that I lost the C2 OLED, but it's almost like a happy accident. Speaking of adding character, I took the opportunity to rearrange some of my decor to better suit the addition of this shelf. I might switch these things around later, but for now, it's a great fit. And one nice perk is that I've actually added my Magic Keyboard to the shelf, so whenever I need to use Touch ID, it's right there and easy to reach. Plus, the other shelves will definitely come in handy, even if it's just to place my phone or any other small items. Alright, that's it for this setup upgrade. This turned out to be one of the most unexpected and wild desk setup overhauls I have ever done. I started out thinking it was just going to be a couple of accessory upgrades, more of like a refinement and an aesthetic touch up, but here we are with a whole new setup. And honestly, I'm not really that mad about it. I'm really loving how this setup looks now. Switching from the OLED TV to a monitor obviously wasn't something I initially planned, but I'm not upset about it. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the 120Hz OLED screen, but there are quite a few drawbacks to using the LG OLED TV as a monitor. I'll dive deeper into that in another video where I'll share my experience using the LG C2 OLED. For now, I am on the hunt for a new monitor though, ideally a 32-inch 4K OLED with a high refresh rate via HDMI. So if you have any recommendations, definitely drop them in the comments. I would love to hear your suggestions. Also, let me know if you have any questions about anything in particular about my desk setup. Everything will be linked in the description down below if you want to check anything out further. And of course, if you like this video, make sure to give it a like and share it to a friend. And if you like Apple tech or desk setup related content, make sure to subscribe. And until next time, peace.